Hi everybody, Happy New Year. This is Steve Gonzalez, your Las Vegas condo insider. I was actually just visiting with a client, showing him one of my listings here at Panorama Towers, and showed him the property. Everything went well. And at the end of the showing, he asked me a very interesting question. It's a question that I get often. However, I wanted to address it now that it's the new year, new beginning, and I wanted to give a little bit more information to everybody out there who's considering buying in a mid-rise or high-rise in Las Vegas. It was kind of a four-part question. The first question was about location. He asked, when I'm considering location, like what should I be thinking about in Las Vegas? The gentleman is from California. So I said, California is kind of spread out, being from Southern California myself originally. I said, Vegas is more of a condensed area to live in. It's not, as big as LA. So I kind of thought about it for a second. I said, if you just have to take a couple things into consideration, and this is obvious for anybody who's buying, a house or a condo. Location is key. But when it comes to high-rise and condos, you have to just not only think about where you're at logistically or geographically in the city, but also where you're at in the building, which is key. Because sometimes security, privacy, and also access to amenities are a big factor, and that's kind of like the three other parts of this four-part points that I wanted to make or he was making. And one of the points was, he says, locations, like where should I be located? I said, well, tell me a little bit about your lifestyle. Like, what do you like to do? What are you thinking about what your lifestyle is going to look like here in Las Vegas? And he says, well, I want us to be near the Strip. I want to have accessibility to the airport. And he goes, I'm kind of an outdoorsy type of person. So I said, well, two of the three can really be knocked out just with where you're at on the Strip. If you had any high-rise here on the Strip, you pretty much have easy accessibility to the fine dining, the entertainment, and the access to all the casinos and the resorts. And the second one is you're not too far away from Harry Reid Airport, which gives you access to anywhere on the globe, really. And the third one, I said, any which direction in the city, you could be outdoors, in Valley of Fire or Red Rock Mountains, or even out further to out to the Grand Canyon within a 30-minute to 2-hour time frame. So I said, you probably really want to stay on the Strip. I said, and the second point is you have to really consider like where you want to be in the building. He seemed to be more of a private type of person, so I said you may want to consider a higher floor or a lower floor even, because it gives you quick accessibility to the valet parking, your parking spot, to the amenities and back. And then sometimes traveling with folks inside of an elevator doesn't give you the level of privacy. However, up high always makes it more private. And then also I said you may even want to try to consider a high rise or a building that has private entry access from your elevator, so you don't have to deal with hallways and other residents. A second factor that he asked about was security. I said, well, security is a major factor. I said a lot of the high rises here in town have guard gated high rises, communities. Some of them don't. Some of them are really sexy, some of them are really pretty buildings, and they don't have a simple thing like a guard gate, which creates a barrier of protection from the outside world into your private world, right? So I said, and then beyond that, there's different layers of security. You have biometric security, floor access security, roving security by security guards on property, and then you also have cameras and that sort of technology. So I said you really have to consider that when you're thinking about where you want to be in the valley or what high rise or mid rise. And then the third factor, which kind of blends in a little bit into the second point, is privacy. A lot of these high rises, they have noise elements. When you're closer to the Strip, you have the highway, freeway noise. You have helicopters from the tour helicopters that come by. You have a little bit of airport noise. Light noise also coming from the Strip. So as far as privacy is concerned, do you want floor access where you have a private entrance, for example, and then just maneuvering around the amenities, what the level of privacy is, which is a huge factor. And then the last point was the amenities. Amenities is a big one, especially for depending on the lifestyle you have. There's a lot of folks who are really into fitness, and there's a lot of high rises, believe it or not, There's some really sexy ones that really don't have that fitness element to it. So you can buy buy into a building that doesn't have, the gym equipment or, the type of fitness that you're looking for. And there's a lot that do. So that's just kind of one. For example, there's 2, 3 in the off the strip high rises that have car service, and the car service is a wonderful thing. A lot of folks don't have cars. This is their second home. A lot of CEOs, things like that, they come into the city where they fly in. The car service can pick them up from the airport, bring them back to the building, and then drive them around the resorts and casinos as they please, when they book with it. So, that's just a whole other world of amenities. So really dialing down what he was looking for made me think about this video, and I wanted just to talk about it a little bit and present it to everybody as a intro to 2026. I hope everybody's been having a great start to the 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Steve Gonzalez with the agency Las Vegas. If you're in the market to buy or sell in Las Vegas, give me a call. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.